What's up, my crypto legends? In this episode, we need to talk about this chart right away. This in the candlesticks is the DXY, the dollar index, and in the orange, we do have the Bitcoin price. I'm going to share with you the last few months how there's been a massive inverse correlation where the DXY has been dropping, Bitcoin pumping, and now we could be seeing this pattern over here, which is the bump and run scenario that could be playing out for the DXY, meaning will Bitcoin manage to test $31,000 and even $32,000 in the next coming days before the DXY has a potential breakout to the upside? We'll be explaining this situation in this episode, so make sure to stay tuned. Hi there, Andy here. Welcome back to another episode of Bitcoinsensus. Let's dive in here straight into the chart, guys, and what I want to share with you, okay? Now, yes, it is beautiful seeing Bitcoin absolutely exploding. We're looking for that $31,000 high, even 32 to be tested, maybe slightly higher, but we want to be extremely cautious, and I'll share the technical analysis here after taking a look at this chart, which is the dollar index here with the candlesticks potentially forming this bump and run scenario, as you can see on the picture above me, okay? Very, very possible. As soon as we do break out this trend line, if we were to break out from it, it would significant a large move to the downside for Bitcoin in the next coming weeks. Of course, Bitcoin might have some steam right now as it is in an uptrend. We are looking for another wave to the upside to hit $31,000 and even $32,000 potentially higher in the coming days. However, we need to be aware about this, guys. This is the DXY, and here in the orange, we do have the Bitcoin price. I want to share with you how the inverse correlation is absolutely huge, where when we in a massive uptrend on the dollar index, as you can see here from this point where we had a peak on Bitcoin price was moving to the downside as the dollar index was moving up. We found a peak here, of course, a peak here also on Bitcoin. When the dollar index got the retracement, the Bitcoin price got a little bit of a consolidation relief rally. Then when the dollar index was continuing pumping to the upside, we can see the massive drop that Bitcoin had. Now, as soon as the dollar index had a corrective move here, we moved to the upside, as you can see on Bitcoin, getting that relief rally, then shoot up again here with the dollar index as the Bitcoin price was continuing to the downside. Now, this is when the dollar index started to drop. And this is exactly where we dropped as well with Bitcoin. However, this was the FTX collapse, okay, with it brought a lot of fear, okay, and it was the best moment to buy, of course. If you did take a look at the dollar index, we were seeing that big major correction, okay. It took a few days, all right, for the price of Bitcoin to actually bottom out and get that massive recovery. As the DXY here was still continuing to the downside, we can see that Bitcoin started recovering here very, very nicely, getting that massive move here to the upside. Now, what is happening right now? Of course, the dollar index for the last 2 weeks has been having a major corrective move after testing the lower high resistance trend line here that we have from these lower highs. Very important. We are forming also this kind of double bottom structure. So this does look like a reversal for the dollar index. Now, for the last 2 weeks, we've had a major corrective move on the dollar index, and that is what has steamed here, all right, with a little bit of hype with the BlackRock. The charts were looking bullish, all right, on Bitcoin, and we can see that really nice move here to the upside of $4,000 or $5,000 in a matter of a few days. Now, the dollar index is finding a little bit of a bottom here, as you can see on the chart. And it could be that it's going to test the resistance trend line in the coming days, okay, by next week, Monday, Tuesday, all right? And maybe the Bitcoin price does manage to hit 31, 32, and maybe slightly higher. That is going to be the point where we need to be very cautious, because that is when Bitcoin could get a massive reversal point, and that is what we're going to take a look at in this episode, all right? Like taking a look at the technical analysis on the higher time frames on Bitcoin. If we were to see that breakout from this lower high resistance trend line with an aggressive move in the next coming days, guys, potentially might take 1 or 2 weeks or even days, then this is going to be bad news. I do see here a massive recovery on the dollar index if we get above this resistance trend line. Of course, there will be some resistance and a little bit of cool-offs, all right? But you can see the massive correlation, all right, that there is when DXY pumps, Bitcoin is dumping, when the DXY is dumping, the Bitcoin price is pumping, okay? So there's massive inverse correlation here. We need to take this into consideration, and the DXY could be in a massive reversal point. Yes, it has been great. We've been going here to 30,000. We will very likely hit 31 or $32,000. We do not know how much higher we're going to go. We're going to analyze that, okay, with the lower time frames and higher time frames on the Bitcoin price. But overall, we need to take this into consideration. As soon as we start breaking through here, I will likely switch bearish on Bitcoin, looking for some big resistance levels to short Bitcoin, guys. That is going to be my plan, of course. Now, thanks to this massive drop that we've had, okay, during the last 2 weeks on the DXY, the Bitcoin price has got a recovery. As you can see, DXY dropping, Bitcoin pumping. DXY is going to get, if it is going to get, a massive pump out of this lower high resistance trend line, forming the bump and run scenario phase for this reversal in the coming weeks, in even months. I would expect the price of Bitcoin to be topping out somewhere in between $31,000 and $34,000 range, okay? Give or take a few $1,000s, because it can get very explosive, and we're going to explain that right away. But I will be definitely looking for shorts if we do see this reversal pattern playing out here for the DXY, and we just need to get a major breakout above the resistance trend line, okay? And remember, guys, the World Series of Trading competition on Bybit is happening in the next coming days, so make sure to stay tuned, because I'm going to be a team leader and I want you in my team. Last year we were ranked 20 most of the competition out of 460 teams. The top 10 teams are going to get a prize pool of 8 million USDT, a Lamborghini, a Rolex, okay? And we are going to go for the top 10 this year, guys. If you haven't got a Bybit account, make sure to create one with a link down below in the description so you can join my team. So let's dive in here with the Bitcoin price, okay? Now it's having a little bit of a shoot up here, managing to go to slightly higher levels. So we could see $31,000. We are breaking some resistance. We did break here the lower high resistance trend line created from the last few days. We'll be doing some technical analysis on the lower time frames as well to take a look at the scenarios. But overall, we are above some major levels. Okay, we could get a little bit of resistance at this zone because we are basically slightly hitting the 61878, okay, above that range. So maybe this is a successful breakout and we are going to go to $31,000 maybe during the weekend, okay, while the DXY is not moving. So what I want to focus on here on this episode, guys, is what we need to be prepared for the coming weeks, because this is very important. There is a lot of hype at the moment. There is a lot of excitement. Yes, we've been bearish here. We've been ready to be bullish right at this range. But now, you know, Bitcoin to $60,000 in the coming weeks and months, I don't think so, guys. We need to be ready with the levels for that potential reversal on Bitcoin, okay? Because it could get very, very bloody. And the reason why, of course, is because of the DXY, simple as, right? So let me get here this clean chart on US dollar tether on the Bybit chart and analyze the situation here on the higher time frames, because this is the major levels that I want you to pay attention. I do see this as the fifth wave here to the upside, and we are currently in the middle of the fifth wave, in my personal opinion, when we have had, okay, taking a look at Elliott wave theory, just going to the last point, because if not, we're just going to take a long time if we're going to zoom in. But overall, I do see this as being the first impulsive wave right over here, this being an ABC flat, the third wave, and now we are looking for the fifth wave. Of course, the fifth wave, where is it going to stop? Sometimes it is the same length as the first wave. Sometimes it can go much higher, okay? Depending on how much buying power there's going to be. You know, it could go to $35,000. Overall, in this fifth wave, I do see the price of Bitcoin topping out at some point, whether it's going to fail to break out the highs here at $31,000 from April, or it's going to manage to push slightly higher. What are the most strongest resistance levels that we do have? Well, if we do take a look at this entire range from December of 2020 till May of 2022, okay, we are currently facing here this support range. I don't think we are going to get much acceptance above this level. We might get a little bit of an explosive move here, But overall, I am looking for that fifth wave to finish. There's some lower highs, very interesting lower highs where we could get a massive fake out, very similar to what happened right over here back in February of 2022, where we created some really nice highs here, lower highs, as you can see. The price got above the lower highs and then had, a massive correction, as you can see on the chart. So we got these lower highs right there. They are very interesting, exactly at $32,400. So there is a chance that we might wick above that level, potentially hitting round about 33 or maybe 34,000 if it is going to be explosive, right? We can see that movement above these lower highs, getting that consolidation and then crashing down. I would personally expect something very similar, whether it doesn't successfully break $31,000 and gets to and has the rejection already at that level and we already start to correct, whether that fifth wave is going to be a failed fifth wave breakout from the third wave. Very possible. We're just going to have to analyze the consolidation that is created there. Now, on the breakout here of the highs of April, we can potentially see these lower highs right there where we also have an important daily level. That is in between 31,500 and 32,500 as well. In between that zone, you can expect $33,000 or $34,000, depending on what kind of price action is created here in the next coming days. That is going to be a bearish sign, guys. We got here the fifth wave creation on Bitcoin already, okay? And it's consolidating at this major zone where we could see a fake out. We could see the end of the fifth wave getting exhausted. And then we could get a really deep, nasty correction in the coming months. And of course, everything points out that this is a high possibility. I don't think $40,000 is going to be hit in the coming weeks, guys. I don't think it's a reality when we do take a look at the DXY, because DXY is on the verge of a potential reversal pattern. And that, of course, will be bearish for Bitcoin, you like it or not. So I've been bullish here for the last couple of weeks, okay? Last one to 2 weeks, really. I've been bearish here in between April and May. But overall, the first week of June, we were very much aware of this possibility of the pump. But now we need to recognize, let's not FOMO in. Let's, analyze the situation and understand that Bitcoin is in the fifth wave and it's potentially ready for the reversal in between $31,000 and $34,000 range, where we could get that exhaustion. And this is what we are paying attention. I will not short instantly the pump, okay? We're not shorting the pump. We are waiting to see what kind of reaction is going to happen, all right, here on Bitcoin. And then we are going to potentially short the market. And especially if the DXY is going to start breaking here this lower high resistance trend line to confirm the reversal, guys. Now let's take a look here at the lower time frames, because as I am doing this video, the price of Bitcoin is having a really interesting move. Let's zoom in here. It's having a little bit of power. As you can see on the chart, it looks like that we are going to test right now, as I'm recording, these highs at $30,800 range and potentially even break it. There could be a possibility of a fake out here. If it does fake out here and consolidate and gets beneath the price action of the highs of the 21st of June, if we consolidate and get beneath the level, we could get into the deep correction to some next support levels. However, if it is broken, we are already going to be testing the highs here of April, which is exactly at $31,000. So that is a very important level, okay? We're going to have to see how that level is tested. Are we going to touch it and then get the rejection? Are we going to blast through it, hit the daily, then the daily get the rejection daily level here from May of 2022? Or are we going to go to that zone, all right, of $32,000, which is the lower highs, all right? We're going to be paying attention to see what kind of reaction we are having here, because inside of this range, all right, and I'm not in a rush because the short will go to much lower levels to 27, 26, 25K in the coming weeks. So I'm not in a rush to short. I want to see the development of the price action, because we could blast through April highs and we can even blast through the lower highs from May, okay, which is at that $32,500 range. So we're paying attention, guys. Overall, we're looking for higher. We're looking for the April highs to be tested. We're looking for potentially even higher levels. But after breaking the April highs, that zone over here is where I'll be interested in looking for short positions, as it's very likely that the DXY will be breaking here, the lower high resistance trend line. Now, what would be the other case? Of course, the breakout of the lower high would be a confirmation for me. Hey, this is going to reverse and we're going to higher levels in the coming months with the DXY. So that will be extremely bearish for Bitcoin. There is the possibility that we are just going to create another lower high, guys. Okay, we need to consider that it's a possibility. So I need confirmation here with this breakout to get ready to potentially short Bitcoin once it hits those resistance levels. Not much more to be said, guys. The price of Bitcoin exploding at this moment. I would be looking for $31,000 and even higher, maybe in the next coming hours, or while I posted this video, that is already happening. So we're looking for higher, no rush for shorting. We're going with a trend. It looks like that the fourth wave has finished right over here. Finally, with that ABC structure, as you can see on the chart, okay, getting that ABC momentum, and we are already inside of the third wave, okay, because this has been one right there, two. We are creating the third wave, which could be very explosive. So 31,000, even higher, can be reached in the next coming hours, guys. I would expect those levels to be tested and broken, and just go with the flow. We're expecting higher, and then in the next 1 to 2 weeks, we'll be looking for those shorting opportunities. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.